Hi friends, welcome back to Bedroom Chronicles. Today we're talking about Between Two Kingdoms by Suleika. It's an incredible read. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat. 10 out of 10 recommend. So it's about a woman. She graduates college. She talks a little bit about the end of her college life and then moving to Paris and then just being really sick. So she has weird symptoms like itching. So she's thinking, whatever, her legs are itchy a lot. You're not thinking it's anything crazy. But then she gets to Paris and after college and she gets super, super sick. And she's going through tests and no one's really doing any crazy tests, but she's getting really, really sick. And then it just takes a turn for the worse and she gets so sick that her red blood cells drop so low. And they're like, you need to get on a plane back to New York because if it gets any lower, then you cannot, you can't get on a plane. So she goes home to New York and she's assuming that, she's gonna be back in Paris within the next few weeks, that it won't be anything big, but that's just not the case. She actually finds out that she has cancer, and that's extremely mind-blowing, especially for, I think, someone so young too. When you graduate college, you're around usually 22 years old. So hearing that news at that age is just insane. I'm sure hearing that you have cancer at any age is heartbreaking. But when you graduate college, people tell you oh, this is your first time, in the real world, really being a part of it, and you're gonna start all these new adventures. And then she has that, and then that happens. And I'm sure that's just the most heartbreaking thing to hear. And just hearing all the steps that they had in her family's perspective and just understanding what everyone was going through and what her partner was going through, and it was just a lot. I felt it was just so sad, but honestly, it was really inspiring how strong people really are. And I feel we don't realize how strong we are until something tragic like this happens or something really intense happens. And I feel it's kind of rough because it's you want to know that you're strong always and that you can handle anything, but you're hoping not to have to handle something like this ever. But then, so the next 4 years of her life is just a crazy intense roller coaster journey of dealing with cancer and doing cancer treatments, and you just learn about the strains that cancer play on someone's life, on their body physically, on their mind mentally, and on their relationships, with her parents, with her friends, and with her partner and stuff. So that was really interesting, and I think it was just beautiful how vulnerable she was with all of us, because obviously that's scary and you don't want to share things so intimate. And she even says that she's never been a really public person, that she's always been really private. And even beginning when she first had cancer, she did not want to be public. But then she started writing for the New York Times and had a column, and a bunch of people around the world and around the US just wrote her letters and encouragement and just talking to her and being supportive. And I thought that was the most beautiful thing. And within those 4 years, it's you gain so much, but you lose so much. And it's I'm sure in that moment, you feel going through those 4 years, she probably felt she was just losing so much. And then I'm sure after the fact, she she came out a different person and with a different life and things to be grateful for. But when she first had cancer, she's meeting people who also have cancer, and sometimes in reality, not everyone is going to survive cancer. So it's she's also losing people that she's made connections with and people that actually understand her, because obviously you have your family, your friends, your partner who are there to support you, but they're not going through the same thing in the same way, So the fact that she's having these people to connect with and to understand her, and then they die, I think that's just another way that she'll have to grieve in that way, and just so many things being taken from her in that time. And I'm sure that's unbelievable. It's just loss after loss after loss and hardship after hardship. So it was definitely sad to read, but as you're reading it, you're rooting for her and that everything will come out better at the end. And then after her 4 years on her cancer journey, she's confused on what to do and how to live life, because the past 4 years, it was all about having cancer and trying to get rid of the cancer. And now it's like she has her life back. What should she do? And that's where Between Two Kingdoms kind of comes in. And it's like she feels like she's in between the living and the dead, because it's like cancer is still there and it can still come back. But now she's good. She doesn't have to be in a cancer ward at a hospital and do all these treatments. So she's like, I don't know what to do next, and she's confused. So what she does is she goes on a road trip across the country, and she visits all the people that wrote her like letters. I'm sure maybe not every single one of them, but a lot of them. She goes literally around the country and she visits people, and these are all strangers, like, and a lot of them she like said that maybe they wrote her and maybe she didn't respond back, or maybe they wrote back and forth for a while, or maybe they wrote to each other once, and she still goes to visit them. And I think that's so beautiful to have support from all these different people like that you've never met, that are complete strangers, and to go spend time with them is just incredible. So I love that. She actually traveled and did all of this alone with her dog, which is super intimidating to me. I feel like I personally don't think I could handle that and be that independent, but I think that's the point. I think she didn't know that about herself either until she just did it. And obviously there were moments where she has bumpy roads and moments that are really, really scary, but that's an experience of a lifetime, and not all of us are gonna get that experience, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna have that experience, but to read about hers was just incredible. I loved every second of it. I loved getting to, you know, know the people that she met along the way and all the adventures that she had from it, and I was really happy for her to have those moments. And I think this book is really relatable, even if you've like never had cancer. I've never had cancer, but like to feel lost in life and not know what to do after something tragic, I feel like I relate to and I can understand, because with this pandemic, I feel like it was a tragic event. It was something huge that altered all of our lives, and a lot of us don't know what to do after it. Like, you know, the world is reopening slowly and parts of it's getting better and stuff like that. And yeah, it's confusing on what to do next. So I feel like this book has me really, really inspired on just, yeah, to live life. Sounds super simple, but that's what it has inspired me to do, and just be independent and just go for it, to try something, and just to be really grateful for my life and for my health, and to really just experience things. So I think you guys should all give this book a read. It is incredible, amazing, just super vulnerable, and I think I love that most about books, is when people really open up, because it seems so scary to do, but when someone does it with you, you feel so connected, you know? So I feel like you guys should give it a read. And if you want to know what I'm reading for May, you should check out my Instagram. I can put it here for you guys, or I can put it like down below, and then you guys can maybe read along with me. So when I make my video for that book, then you'll have maybe some, you know, input to let me know. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Much love always.